Hello everyone and welcome back to the Talk of the Town YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me here again today. Today's video, we're doing a really exciting one for me anyway. It's fantasy football. We're going to be talking about the best Newcastle United assets for your game week 1 teams. If you don't know me already, I am absolutely obsessed with fantasy football. I'm over on Twitter. You can follow me at Twitter, FPL_TT. Shout out to all you guys who are involved in the FPL community over there. Amazing community. Get involved if you haven't already. And yeah, the official game has launched. You can start building your drafts. I've been tinkering away with my team. I finished 4.4k last season, so I had a very good season, my best season. It will now be my 16th season playing this game, so hopefully with my Newcastle United knowledge as a fan and my knowledge of the game, I can give you some helpful insights into Newcastle United players and who you should be considering for your teams. So, before we get into it, I thought it would be worth going over some team structure and the fixtures, just to give you a better insight about how Newcastle are going to set up this season. So, as you can see on the screen, this is a screenshot of the Newcastle lineup from the last game of the season at home to Burnley. And this probably gives us the best indication of how Newcastle are going to set up for the new season. So 4-3-3 was Howe's preferred formation. We saw Wilson come back into the team. We saw Trippier come back from injury. So I think this will be as close to the starting 11 as we'll get. Obviously, Newcastle have now made some good signings and some new signings who will now bed into the team. Nick Pope, I expect, will take the number 1 shirt, so Dubravka should come out. And Sven Botman will now be a starter at centre-back. If you want to learn a bit more about him, you can check out my first video on the channel. So Botman, I expect, will be paired alongside Fabian Schär. Harsh on Dan Burn, but Fabian Schär, he's right-footed, complements Botman very nicely. In the midfield, I think Shelvey will play as the base of the midfield 3, and that will give Bruno the opportunity to play as a bit more of an advanced midfielder with Joe Linton on the other side. So Maximan, Callum Wilson, and another right winger should come into the team. So Almiron or Fraser, I don't think are nailed at the moment. That's one to keep an eye on, but I fully expect Newcastle will sign another right winger. Let's get into the fixtures now. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Forest at home to start the season, a terrific fixture. I think it's one of the best fixtures in the first game week. A great way to start the season, hopefully, for Newcastle United. And if you're looking at Newcastle United players, I think this is a really good fixture, especially I think they can profit from. Obviously, the elephant in the room in the first 6, Man City at home, Liverpool away, game week 3 and game week 5. Really tough fixtures, obviously, the 2 best teams in the league. So, not ideal, but obviously get those fixtures out of the way. I think from there on in, I think Newcastle will have a really nice run of fixtures. But for the first 6, 2 of the toughest teams in the league, not the best. I've highlighted that Palace at home fixture because I think that, again, that's a really good fixture at home. I think Newcastle are formidable at home compared to away from home. Away from home, Newcastle did improve. So Brighton and Wolves are the 2 away fixtures there as well. Not the easiest, not the hardest. I think there's still scope for points there. So all in all, I think it's a mixed bag for the fixtures. So definitely, I think Newcastle United players are viable. How many you're looking at remains to be seen, but let's get into some of the options that I've picked out that you should be considering. So, starting off in defence, Kieran Trippier, what a signing for Newcastle United. At 5.0, he's come out at a terrific price. Obviously, big at the back is a thing this season. A lot of the defenders have been priced really nicely. A lot of people looking at either 4 or 5 back formations. So Trippier probably could either be a 4th or 5th defender in your teams at 5.0. He's got set pieces, which is big. There's a really nice quote that Pranil from the FPL Wire, late riser, said that he's very much reminiscent of Leighton Baines at Everton, and we know how good Leighton Baines was in FPL and in real life. So Trippier can definitely emulate those sort of stats and the output that Leighton Baines had. He's on all direct free kicks. He will take majority of corners. I think he'll share some with Shelvey, and Target may take some indirect or short free kicks. So the set pieces for Trippier is a real advantage. He's always involved in the play, whipping and crosses on the right hand side, nailed in the team. Kraft isn't really going to pose much of a threat, but he had a really nice finish at the end of the season. Whether Trippier can stay fit again is obviously the issue. He had a pretty serious injury towards the back end. He seems like he's back to his best. He seems like he's back fit and healthy. So hopefully he starts the season well. A nice differential for your teams, I think. He'll hit the ground running. There are clean sheet opportunities there, I think, especially Forest. Brighton as well, not the most free scoring team. There's definitely scope for points if you pick Trippier. Next up, a man who will divide opinion. My favourite player, I think, in the team at the moment, Bruno Guimaraes, an amazing, amazing talent. And he's definitely causing some debate, I think, for FPL, just because of how good he was towards the back end of last season. He scored 5 goals in 12 games. An amazing output considering he played as a defensive midfielder for Lyon. He'd only scored 3 goals in his entire Lyon career. So to come and score 5 goals so quickly and hit the ground running like he did, I don't think anyone expected it. I think a lot of people knew about his quality, but whether the goal output was there was definitely something I think people weren't aware of. So we've seen it now. Bruno's been utilised as that advanced midfielder in the 3-man midfield. He's been given the license to get into the box, very much what Joe Willock sort of did 2 seasons back. Bruno's obviously not as attacking, but he will definitely chip in with assists. He's got that passing range. He's everything will go through him or Saint-Maximin, so very much nailed again in the team if he's fit. At 6 million, I think it's a fair price. There's obviously other options, like Martinelli, who I think are probably a bit better value, but it's a good punt, I think. If you're looking for a way to get into sort of the more attacking side of Newcastle and try and chime into those returns, definitely again, Nottingham Forest, Brighton away. I think Newcastle can score against any of these teams, and if Bruno's been given that license again to play as more of the advanced midfielder, Bruno can certainly chip in with goals and assists. 0.51 XGI, which I think was the best across the team for the back end of the season, so definitely we know he's going to be involved in goals. At 6 million, I think it's a decent punt, but I think the jury's out whether his goals output is going to be sustainable. Now, moving on, Alan Saint-Maximin. I think this is one of the most exciting punts for the Newcastle United players that are on offer this season. He's been reclassified to a midfielder, which is really exciting. I think him staying as a forward last season just didn't make sense because he was pretty much utilised out on the wing. So the reclassification is nice. He hasn't moved in price. He stayed at 6.5, which I think is fair price. It's good value, considering a lot of the players who did really well last season have now gone up to in around 7.5 to 8.5 million. So he's coming at a little bit cheaper. And 5 goals and 7 assists last season is a lot better output, I think, than most people would expect. Saint-Maximin often flatters to deceive and very much is a frustrating figure, especially for me when I watch him. But I know the talent is there. I think his output is going to improve. I know he added some end product to his game last season. He definitely stepped up when Wilson was out of the team. He's always at the forefront of all the Newcastle United attacks. We're so reliant on him to create chances, to really get involved. He loves a shot. He's just a really exciting player. I think it's a really good punt. If you're looking for someone who's got potentially explosive returns, always fun to watch on the pitch, it's a great pick at 6.5. Like I said, now there's more quality in the team. If Wilson stays fit, I think Saint-Maximin's output will only improve. Bruno will be feeding balls into him. It's going to be a differential. I think he's one to watch for the rest of the season for sure. I'm really excited by it. Definitely considering him for my team. So yeah, one to watch for sure. Now, we're moving on, like I said, to the main man himself, Callum Wilson. In my mind, he is the talisman of the team. I think a lot of Newcastle United fans would agree. Yes, potentially Saint-Maximin and Bruno are the more talented players, but this team does not tick with Callum Wilson leading the line up front. He's the most experienced in terms of the players that's been there. And yeah, he always delivers. If you give him a chance, he'll put it away. He only played 1,300 minutes, like you can see, but he scored 8 goals. If you extrapolate that output, if he plays a full season, the potential is there for him to score 15 plus quite comfortably. Obviously, it's whether he can stay fit. He looks like he's fit and healthy again. He scored 2 goals against Burnley the back end of last season. He showed everyone again what he's capable of, and I think he's a terrific pick at 7.5 million. Arguably for me, I think the best mid-price forward in the game. Jesus at 8 million is a really good price. So if you're looking for someone 0.5 to make that little saving to complement maybe a more premium striker, I think Wilson's in at great value there. Like I said, he is the talisman of the team. He's on penalties. I don't expect Newcastle will sign a striker that's on his level or will take the number 9 shirt from him. If we sign a striker, it will be more like a younger profile who's an understudy. So I don't think his minutes will be compromised unless he's injured. So Wilson is a terrific pick. Like I said, I'm seriously considering for my team. 8 goals in very little minutes last season just goes to show, what he's capable of. XGI of 0.48, up there again with the best in the team. He will get more chances to score this season. Howe will make sure that we're more front foot. We'll play more attacking football, better quality in the team. He'll get more chances. I'm confident he will score more goals. So Wilson is a terrific pick, I think. Definitely a serious consideration, should be a serious consideration for your teams. And finally, I've just added in 2 notable mentions because I think it's worth pointing out the 2 new boys who might not necessarily be picks for the start of the season, but definitely should be considerations later on. And that's Nick Pope and Sven Botman, both defensive signings. And I think it goes to show why I think personally Newcastle will definitely be a lot better defensively this season. I think they could be up there in terms of one of the best defences outside the top 6. That defence is completely overhauled from the start of last season, with now Nick Pope in goal, Botman coming in, Trippier there. It's a much better defence. Clean sheets will definitely be there for the team. Pope starting off 5.0. It's a bit too much for me, just considering that Botman's come in at 0.5 cheaper and Trippier's the same price. I think they're both better value options. But Pope, a consistent performer, 120 saves. He's going to get save points. He's going to get points consistently. You know that for a fact. He's done it time and time again for the last 4 or 5 seasons for Burnley. So yeah, he's a very solid pick, just a little bit overpriced for me. And yeah, Sven Botman though, at 4.5, I think definitely should be a consideration. 3 goals, 1 assist last season for Lille. Obviously, these are the stats when he was at Lille last season. He played 2,200 minutes. He had a little bit of an injury, so that's why he didn't quite make it through the whole of last season. But the goal threat is there. Newcastle are very good at set pieces. We've got really good set piece takers in Shelby, Bruno, Trippier. He's going to score goals. I'm very confident of that. Starter in the team, it will be Botman and one other alongside him, so I'm not worried about his minutes. For 4.5, I don't think you can really go wrong as a way into the Newcastle defence. Like I said, will very much be improved. Goal threat, good price, definitely one to keep an eye on. So, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you got some better insight for Newcastle United players for your teams. Let me know down in the comments who you're considering and why. Would love to hear your thoughts on the players I've outlined, and if there's anyone else I've missed. I'm sure there are. So yeah, do let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.